Hey guys, it's Katie. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this really cute dream catcher. So if you want to learn how to make this, then continue watching. So you're going to start out with these metal rings. I found these at Joann Fabrics in the sewing section. I got two 5-inch rings and one 10-inch ring. I also got some suede cording. I just bought this big pack at Joann's for about like $10. And you're also going to want some embroidery floss and some beads as well for decorations. I just got these really cute wooden beads and these little stone type beads. Looks very dream catchery. And you're also going to want, you may want some findings, and you're going to want some metal wire. And then you're also just going to want some tools, so I just got some scissors and glue and things like that. So you're going to start by taking a bead of E6000 glue and putting it on your metal ring, and you're just going to stick the suede cording on it, and you're just going to start wrapping it around. Just kind of hold that in place so it doesn't like move or anything. Just give it a little bit of wrap, just a few wraps, like 3 or 4 times, just to start it out. And I found it easiest to take a binder clip and just kind of hold this in place so you can continue wrapping and it won't fall off. And it'll also let the glue dry. So once you do that, you just want to take your cord and continue to wrap around the ring. So now once you get to this point where you just have a little section left, you can actually just take your string and cut it. Just leave a little bit of excess so you can finish up that wrap, but just make it a little bit shorter so it's easier to work with. And now we're going to take some more glue. You can use super glue, E6000, whatever you have, and just kind of dab it in this area. Just cover the whole line of opening right there. And then we're just going to continue to wrap the cord around that section, finishing off the ring. And don't worry about this little extra you have hanging off, we'll cut that off later. But again, you're just going to clip this so that the glue can dry and just set it aside. So now we're going to do the same thing to the smaller rings that we have. So again, we're just going to glue it in place and then start wrapping all the way around, and then again glue it at the end. So now once that's done, it is going to be time to start weaving the inner net of the dream catcher. So I have this picture right here, and this is just a diagram showing you how it'll wrap around itself. So you can pause it, just kind of give this a look, and watch me do it, and hopefully you guys understand. It's kind of hard to explain. But I'm going to take some of these little rocks to put in the center of the bigger part of my dream catcher. So you're just going to want to start beading these onto the embroidery floss that you're going to be using to wrap, just because it's easier to just put it onto the spool first. So I'm just using a beading needle to thread some of these onto the embroidery floss. And you just want to pull these down onto your floss and just kind of keep them near the end. So we're going to take our embroidery floss and we're just going to tie it around the end of the big hoop. Just give it a few good knots. And this is what your string should look like. I just have the beads like near the end now. So we're going to start wrapping the first part of the dream catcher. So you're just going to go around the ring and then pull through the strip of floss that you just wrapped to kind of create just like a little loop so it stays right there. And we're just going to continue this process all the way around, just going around the hoop and then through the string. And you're going to want to make sure that your string gaps are pretty even, just so you don't have like a crooked dream catcher when you're finished. And just kind of pull the beads to the end because you don't want to use them yet. But again, just going around the hoop. And then you're going through the string. And you're going to want to make sure that you're keeping this kind of taut. You don't want a loose net in your dream catcher. I was kind of trying to figure out what to do here because the last section was kind of bigger than the others, but I figured it just really didn't matter that much, so I just kind of connected it. At this point my string's getting kind of knotted, and I eventually found it easier to just cut a giant piece of string and use a needle instead of using this bundle because it just gets too knotted too quickly. But I don't know, then you're going to have to guesstimate how much string you need, so whatever works for you. Now, once I do the inner rings, I actually did start using a beading needle. So once you get to the second round, you're basically doing the same thing that you were doing around the ring, only this time you're going to go through the string that's already there. So you're just going to go through the string, and then you're going to want to go around itself to create kind of a slip knot, I guess. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just like a loop, and you're going to want to make sure that that end of it falls in the center of the string that was of the previous round. Don't know what I was doing there. I think I was trying to figure out how to do this one, but then I decided to just go over it, I guess. I don't know, that string is kind of weird right there. So again, you're just going to go over the string, and then you're going to want to go through the previous loop. And then just pull it and make sure that it's in the center of the previous one. And I kind of just like to hold that piece right there just so it stays nice and tight while I'm doing the next one. So hopefully this makes sense, but you're just going to keep doing this process all the way around until you get to the center and you have no more space. Now, if you want to add some beads, you're just going to continue looping like you would normally. Make sure that it's centered, and then you just, from the end, you just pull down a bead. And you just let it sit there, and then you continue weaving like normal. So that's all you need to do, just every once in a while when you want a bead, just kind of pull one off. and then just keep looping like you were before. Going around the string and then through the string. So now once you get to the point where you can't really weave anymore, this is where you're going to want to tie off your string. So I like to just go underneath one of the pieces of string, and then I go through the loop to create a knot. And I do this a few times just to make sure that it's secure and it's not going to fall apart on me. I just did this like 3 or 4 times just to make sure it was really secure and not going to unravel. And then you're just going to want to snip that off pretty close, and your Dreamcatcher net should be pretty good. And this is what it's going to look like. Now we're just going to repeat this same process on both of the smaller hoops. I didn't put beads in my smaller hoops, but you can if you want. It's really just up to you how you want to decorate your Dreamcatcher. So again, we're just going through, and then through, just around and through. And make sure it's nice and tight in the center. This can get pretty tedious, just take your time. And this is what they'll look like when they're done. So now we're just going to start attaching everything together. So you're going to cut 2 strands of the suede cord that are equal in length. And now I'm just going to loop this through one of the smaller dream catchers I made. And I'm just going to kind of put it in the center. I'm going to take these and I'm just going to create a slip knot around the hoop. And I'm going to do this to both of the smaller hoops. So now we're going to take our larger dream catcher and we're going to take the small hoops and we're going to find the center of our dream catcher, and then we're just kind of measure evenly along the sides on where we want to tie these smaller dream catchers. So I just pick the side and I'm going to just tie a knot around the hoop just to secure this smaller dream catcher onto the larger one. I'm just going to tie a double knot of the suede cord. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side with the other small loop. So I'm just measuring evenly. I just counted like 2 of the ties around. And I'm just going to, again, tie the suede cord around the larger loop. So now once you have this part done, it is time to start decorating your dream catcher. So I made a few strands of beads. All I did was take some embroidery floss and just bead some beads onto it. It's pretty easy. So once you've created a few of those, however many you'd like, you can just start tying these around the bottom of the dream catcher. The way you decorate it is really up to you. You can use like ribbon, you can use chain, just whatever you really like. I just really like the look of these beads because they just look very like old and like worldy and dreamcatchery, I guess, if that's a word. So I just added some of the wood beads and the rock beads along the end of it. So now it is time to start adding some feathers because a dream catcher would not be complete without feathers. So I just cut a few strands of this suede cord, however much I thought I needed for my feathers. So now you're going to want to gather some feathers. You can use any kind you want. I decided to use some purple and black feathers, as well as these like cool looking polka dot feathers. And you're just going to create a little bit of a feather bundle. So just add like 5 or 6 feathers, however many you like, until you think that it looks good. So I'm just kind of stacking a bundle with feathers together. So once you're content with your bundle, you're going to take some wire cord and wrap that tightly around the tips of your feathers. This will secure them all together, and then I'm just going to use some pliers to clamp that wire down so it's nice and tight. So now I made a few of these feather bundles. I made about 10 to add around my dream catcher. So once you do that, you're going to take your suede cord that you cut, and you're going to take another piece of wire, and you're going to wrap that around so that the suede cord sticks to your feathers. And you're just going to clamp those down again so it's nice and tight. So I'm wrapping the suede cord around the feather bundle with some wire just to secure it on there. And I'm doing this to both ends of my suede cord just so I can create like a slip knot and just have 2 feather ends hanging rather than cutting a bunch of suede cord. So as you see, I have them on both ends of the cord. And now I'm just taking my feather things and I am wrapping them around the bottoms of the dream catchers. I did some on the small ones, some in the middle, and I'm just creating like a slip knot to secure these to the bottom of the dream catcher. And now I'm just putting some feathers around the center. I didn't make these strands even. I wanted one higher up than the other for the feathers. So you can just kind of pull and play around with them. So some hang lower than the others. And again, I'm just creating that slip knot at the edge. Just kind of placing them randomly where I think they would look good. So now to hang your dream catcher, you're going to take another smaller piece of suede cord and just tie a double knot at the top of it so you have like a big loop at the bottom. And it'll look like that. And then we're just gonna slip knot this around the top of the dream catcher just so we have something to hang it with. And then this is what it should look like. So now you can hang your dream catcher up on your wall and enjoy it and just take away some of those bad dreams. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel and comment down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!